Once we were done with our business within the station building, we walked to the platform where passengers are seated in the waiting area for the scheduled train to arrive. The crowd attracts vendors from all over, as it is a lucrative way for them to sell their products. But on the flip side, the multitude of passengers also makes the station a target for thieves and pickpockets who steal different types of items. As the scheduled train from Minna approaches, the coaches are clearly filled to capacity as passengers are seen freight trapping. Passers-by standing on the tracks, watching in awe as the train approaches, are dispersed to avoid any form of accidents. Yams and firewood are transported from Minna, and buyers wait to purchase them at a cheaper rate. Reasons for the large volume of these firewoods is as a result of measures taken by the Kaduna State government to curb insecurity by banning tree felling for timber, firewood, charcoal for commercial purposes, and wandering within forests in some local government areas. The hustling spirit of these vendors knows no bounds as they defy station rules by scouting for customers and selling within the coaches. Impatient passengers are seen struggling to look for seats. As passengers settle in their seats in anticipation of safe arrival to their destination, overhead rails are made available for these passengers to keep their hand luggage. The locomotive is turned around and switched to the opposite direction in preparation to drive the trains away from Kaduna. Despite ongoing operations at the junction, quite a number of wagons and fluid tankers still sit idle. One thing Nigerians agree on is for the railways, narrow and standard gauge alike, to be rehabilitated by government and made a viable and safer mode of transport. Minna, the Niger State capital, located in north-central Nigeria, is widely known for its cultivation of yam, maize, ginger, shea nuts, guinea corn, cotton, and various farm produce. Niger State's population, according to the state's official website, is 3,945,772, with a quiet and serene atmosphere. The residents are peaceful and one of the most friendly people one would ever come across. Minna can be accessed by road, rail, or by air. Following the opening of the Kano to Baro Railway in 1911 and the extension of the Lagos to Jebba line in 1915 to a junction in Minna, the town became a major collecting point for agricultural products.
Minna, like I say, is one of the major 7 major districts in in the railways. It came to being in 1999. It used to be a sub-district. It was elevated to the district status from the year 1999 as a way of expanding and ease of administration of the system. It used to be a sub-district, one of the sub-districts under Northern District, and the other one under Western District. From 1999, it started existing as a district when the two sub-districts were merged together and they become one district. Ever since, they've been running independently like other districts. That's the status of having a Haldian. As the name goes, we are in the Northwestern District of the Nigerian Railway Corporation. That is one of the 7 core districts of the NRC, and additional 2 train services stations, making total 9. It's one of the core districts, like I said. So the district covers about 416 kilometers on main line from Jeba south to Kakao, and that covers about 3 states. Just a little bit of Kwara State at the southern end, a small portion of the mileages at the Kaduna end. Then the bulk of our district runs through Niger State. So we serve majorly Niger State district. So we have siding line that starts from Mina that goes to Baro line. Presently not functional. That has not been operated. It is not in operation for many years back now. We call it siding line, or why this one we call this one that is main line, that is operable presently, main line.
A day before embarking on our journey, we visited the Railway Secretariat to speak to those in charge and to get in-depth knowledge on the existence of this railway station, being one of the 7 major districts in Nigeria. Just like Kafanchang, it is the northwestern administrative center of the Nigerian Railway Corporation.
The DS does the supervision of all operational activities within the district. Like you know, our district covers from Jeba to Kakao. That's the boundary between Northern District and Northwestern District. And basically for the moment, we run our MTT mass transit train from Mina here to Kaduna. That's our terminating station, while the originating station is from Mina here. We run the train thrice a week, Thursdays, Sundays, and Mondays. And the takeoff time here is 07:30 hours on Thursday, Sundays, and Mondays. On getting to Kaduna, it comes back the same day. And for so far, so good. We've been doing well in terms of patronage, in terms of our movement. I think we are good for now.
The train cannot run without effective communication. You need to know what is happening. Like, you have crisis here, please don't go. We have to communicate. We have district signal and telecommunication department that handle the communication. It's not as easy as just carrying a mobile phone and just talking from here to there. There has to be a perfect communication. There's a system with the communication that we use that is not being interfered, so that we ensure safety of movement from point A to point B, and so that trains will not go and jam. You know, we have only one line. If you don't run it properly, if you have not properly communicated, that is when we have collision. We don't used to have that kind of thing in Nigeria because of effective communication system. So there are other units there. We always run into trouble. Legal department is there, and people that are looking for trouble, we push it for them. We protect ourselves, like agencies work with them, with us. We have all form of protection. People that want to steal us, vandalize our property, they try as much as possible to guide our property. The police is, we have our unit. We have the police, headed by the district police officer, and area commander of civil defense protects our infrastructure.
Also, in this district, to have other trains that runs from Lagos district through to Western district, passes through our district to Northern district, which is its final destination. Such trains are pipe traffic. We have an express train. All those trains originate from Lagos district and terminates at Northern districts.
The district manager further speaks on the challenges facing the Minna station.
We can't run as much trains as we want. It's a challenge, because if I want to deliver my goals, moving trains from one point to another to cover the service as requested by the federal government, if I don't have the stocks to move the train, there are challenges. If I don't have enough personnel to handle my operations, there are challenges. If I don't have enough vehicles, rolling stock, there are challenges. If I don't have enough trained staff, equally qualified staff to carry out my work, there are challenges. But the major challenges I'm facing presently is vandalism.
He refuses to speak on the recent 3-day warning strike embarked upon by railway workers from November 18 to November 20, 2021 over welfare concerns.
Africa, Soweto, Africa, Soweto.
Unfortunately, it's not only Northwestern District that is staff strike. It's Nigerian Railway Corporation staff. I think the only person that can answer that question is either the Managing Director of Nigerian Railway Corporation or the Federal Minister of Transport. They are the names that are always featuring on this. And maybe the Oga at the top by the President. So I don't have answer to that.
We spoke to some key heads of departments on how they ensure safe transportation of goods and people on the mass transit train.
So basically, every train that comes into the district, whether it is passenger or goods train, it goes into the running shed. We have a running shed, and the running shed is basically where trains are attended to. And we also attend to the coaches and wagons that comes along with the locomotive engine, and a complete set is called a train or a rake. So, and normally every vehicle that moves requires attention in terms of maintenance. So, and when you see the distance from Jeba, if a train moves from Jeba to Minna, almost a stretch of 7 hours, it requires attention. So basically those are the things we do. Every train that passes across the corridor of Northwestern District goes to the running shed for attention.
Well, actually, principally, my job is supervising and inspection of the truck that runs from Jeba to Kaduna, and then from Minna to Baru. The train of the truck is from kilometer 486 to kilometer 902, which approximately is 416 kilometers. And our major job is to see to the maintenance of the truck, to make sure the truck is in adequate order, so as to avoid accidents, to avoid derailments, and periodic inspection of the truck. That has been the major principal job we do on the truck.
The railway sector is incredibly complex in a way that the railway engineer is faced with different challenges all the time and also numerous functions to ensure safety either on the rolling stocks or the tracks.
We do the maintenance daily, though periodically there are different types of maintenance we do. During rainy season, mostly we do what we call weeding and bushing and picking up slacks. But during the dry season, the period we are now, we do what we call truck through parking of the truck. That is uplifting the truck to a standard during the dry season. Once you don't do the normal maintenance, there is possibility that the truck get buckled. Yeah. There is possibility the truck get actually out of gauge due to none of maintenance. And you know, with the running of the train, there is bound to be ways, truck getting out of alignment, truck get out of the level. So if there is no constant maintenance, the next thing you will have is derailment.
The importance of these engineers cannot be stressed enough, as without them, there will be no movement of the train.
Every time a train moves in, even if it moves to, say, maybe 2-3 hours trip and comes in, we attend to it, because in a stretch of 2-3 hours, anything could happen, and we try as much as is possible to avoid breakdown in route. There are always challenges as long as there are train movements, because you have wear and tear. So any machinery that's experience wear and tear, you also experience challenges, most especially now that there's inflation, most especially dollar exchange rate, and because most of our consumables are not, most of the consumables are not locally sourced.
With the trend of current technology, you know, there is improvements in terms of truck maintenance. Recently, it's most of the developed country and other countries now, they use what we call Mantisa in doing the truck maintenance. They use machines. Initially, some years back, during the Chinese era, I think the government tried to bring in such machine, which we call truck tamper machine. This one, I mean, they work a long distance. The work that can be done, maybe 50 people per day, the machine does more than that within shortest hour. So if you can get such type of machine, the work will be more faster, more efficient.
The vital role they play can be seen in the success recorded for every travel, and hopefully even more success seeing their intention to launch another route to Ikere and beyond from Minna.
We intend starting another service from Minna here to Ikere, Kutuwenji, which plans are still ongoing. And that's where Niger State are coming in to partner with NRC. So by the time we reach a reasonable conclusion, we'll commence the service. It's going to boost our revenue generation in that the major target what we plan to run there is to move their farm produce and persons, as in passengers, to this other axis, maybe to Minna or to Kaduna. Our plan is to move, we originate from Minna here, through to that Zungeru and Ikere, probably Kutuwenji, get their produce, get the passengers, convey them here. The farm produce we get that is going down to Kaduna will also be conveyed from Minna here to Kaduna.
They have also suffered their fair share of attacks, as their operation and the ability to ensure safe transportation of goods and persons from Niger to Kaduna is being threatened by increasing banditry and activities of vandals.
No doubt it has always been in the news. People, all of a sudden, people find out that there is a lot of gains to be made from our track or vehicle materials. They are steals. I think they become more valuable. It's even becoming more valuable than cocaine these days. And all of a sudden, people are merchandising it, and before you know it, for one reason or the other, people start stealing our materials, either the one that is stacked on ground or the one that is fixed. They start affecting it badly, taking it and stealing. It's not only vandalism, they destroy it, that's the act of vandalism, and take it away. So in all form of guise, by pretext, by taking advantage of our absence when we are when we are not around, by conniving, by connivance, by bringing documents to deceive people that this thing has been given to us by government or for one agency or the other, under pretext they will go there. By force, they even come with guns, arms. They will come and they stand by, they scare people away, they take whatever they want to take and drive away. So it has really been a pain to us. But what we have discovered is that they cash on our absence in certain areas. Our, what do you call it? When we are not, areas where we are not doing operations. And one of the reasons why one step we take is to start operating where we have less operations.
Once we were done with our interviews, we headed out to the train station to see the situation of the coaches and also the tracks.
The gauge face of the standard and even the weight of the standard gauge is more than the narrow gauge. It's heavier than the narrow gauge. I was opportune to attend the training under the standard gauge. In fact, I was even making a resource person that trains some young technician on the standard gauge. So what is obtainable in the standard gauge is quite different from what is obtainable in the narrow gauge. On the narrow gauge, you find that the track is already weak. This is a track that has been constructed over 1898, many years ago. The railway track was constructed about 1898. You can't compare it with a track that is being constructed now. Just like somebody having two wives. You have one, she's already 60 years, another one, 18, they can't be the same.
On entering the rail station, our eyes beheld the first locomotive steam engine ever used through northern Nigeria. The 114-year-old engine can be seen on display as an artifact as you walk into the platform. This is so the public can view it and also take pictures. It is a Hunslet 06 OST built in Leeds in the UK. An array of coaches and wagons are also seen on the tracks, some of them in a moribund state. The roofs in these coaches are either worn out or missing. The seats, through years of use, have experienced wear and tear. The bodies of these coaches could do with a little bit of revamp, as the paintings have also come off. But from what is seen, the common man doesn't care about the condition of the train as long as it takes them and their goods to their destination safely.
What people are asking for is train. Move me from point A to take me out of this. Let me go and do my business, my local business. So, and minimally, we have provided that comfort for them, and we hope to improve on those services. Not that we are staying there. As long as, we cannot provide everything at once, even though we are always planning to improve on the condition of our coaches, which our management are always assisting us whenever we request. But you always know that from the economics principle, man's wants are insatiable. But what we are going to use, that is the funds are limited. So we work on budget. So as long as we follow those principles, we work with what we want to get the best of what we are supposed to provide.
Once we were done capturing, we retired while anxiously waiting, hoping, and imagining what our trip to Kaduna via narrow gauge railway will have in store for us.